Number 10. Tennessee towns, where $2,500 a month still buys a good retirement. If you think retiring comfortably on $2,500 a month is impossible in 2026, Tennessee may surprise you. But forget Nashville, and don't assume Knoxville is still the bargain it once was. We found 10 Tennessee towns where typical home values range from roughly $249,000 to just over $326,000, but affordability comes with trade-offs. Some towns on this list are cheaper but more isolated. Others cost a little more but may make far more sense when you're 75 instead of 65. And our number 1 isn't even the cheapest town on the list. It's the place we think offers the strongest overall balance for your retirement dollar. Before we start, there's another reason Tennessee keeps attracting retirees. The state has no tax on earned income, and its former Hall income tax on interest and dividends was fully repealed beginning in 2021. The trade-off is sales tax. Tennessee's general state sales tax rate is 7%. Qualifying food is taxed at 4% at the state level, and local sales taxes can add as much as another 2.75%. So Tennessee isn't tax-free. It's taxed differently, and for many retirees, that can work in their favor. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, Cookeville. Cookeville isn't the cheapest place on our list, but here's why it makes the cut. Cookeville gives you something many smaller retirement towns struggle to provide: infrastructure. It's home to Tennessee Tech University, plenty of shopping and restaurants, and Cookeville Regional Medical Center, the largest hospital in the Upper Cumberland region. And there's a surprising lifestyle bonus. The city says there are more than 150 waterfalls within about 40 miles of Cookeville. So this isn't just somewhere inexpensive to sit at home. There's a real outdoor lifestyle here. The typical home value is currently around $327,000. That makes Cookeville better suited to retirees with home equity or low housing costs than someone trying to stretch $2,500 while carrying a large new mortgage. But if healthcare and staying active matter to you, Cookeville deserves attention. Number 9, Tullahoma. At number 9 is Tullahoma. The typical home value here is just under $299,000. Tullahoma isn't the ultra-cheap Tennessee bargain people may remember from years ago, but what you're paying for is balance. You get a smaller town lifestyle with everyday shopping and healthcare nearby, while still being positioned between the Nashville and Chattanooga regions. There's also easy access to lakes, parks, and outdoor recreation. For retirees, that's an important distinction. A town can look wonderfully cheap on a spreadsheet, but if every medical appointment, shopping trip, or family visit requires a major drive, those savings can become less attractive very quickly. Tullahoma is for someone who wants a quieter retirement without feeling cut off. Number 8, Johnson City. Johnson City moves us into Northeast Tennessee and the Tri-Cities region. Typical home values are currently around $300,000. That's not the cheapest housing on our list. But Johnson City has an advantage that becomes increasingly important as you age: services. You'll find stronger healthcare access, shopping, and regional amenities here than in many smaller rural communities, while still getting Appalachian scenery and 4 distinct seasons. And that's something we want to keep emphasizing on Retire Smart. The best retirement town at 62 isn't necessarily the best town at 78. Saving money matters, but so does being able to reach doctors, pharmacies, groceries, and the things you use every week. If this is the kind of retirement research you're looking for, real costs, real places, and the trade-offs that matter as you get older, subscribe to Retire Smart. We research exactly that, and our next video will put Tennessee head-to-head with North Carolina. Now let's keep going. Number 7, Crossville. Crossville has been appearing on retirement shortlists for years, and it's easy to understand why. The Cumberland Plateau gives you rolling scenery, outdoor recreation, and an established retiree presence, with golf and lake communities throughout the area. But here's the reality in 2026. Crossville isn't automatically cheap anymore. The typical home value is now around $314,000. That's why it doesn't rank higher. There is still a wide variety of housing in the area, but prices can differ dramatically, depending on whether you're looking at a golf community, lake property, or a simpler home outside those developments. Crossville could still be very attractive if you're arriving with equity from a more expensive housing market. But don't move here based on its old reputation as an ultra-cheap retirement destination. Run today's numbers. Number 6 is Morristown in East Tennessee. The typical home value is about $274,000. That puts it well below Cookeville, Crossville, and Johnson City, while still giving you a functioning regional town rather than an isolated rural community. You're also within reach of the lakes and mountain scenery that make East Tennessee so popular. What I like about Morristown is that it doesn't feel like a town designed to attract retirees, and that can actually work in your favor. When a place becomes famous as a retirement destination, housing demand often follows. Morristown still feels more like somewhere people simply live and work. If you're trying to make $2,500 stretch, that's often exactly the kind of place worth investigating. Number 5, Athens. Halfway through our list is Athens. The typical home value is currently around $268,000. Athens sits along Interstate 75 between Knoxville and Chattanooga, and that location is one of its biggest advantages. You get a quieter and less expensive home base while keeping 2 larger metro areas within reach. And here's where the $2,500 retirement idea becomes important. We're not suggesting that someone can comfortably buy a $260,000 or $8,000 home today with a tiny down payment and then live an unrestricted lifestyle on $30,000 a year. That's not realistic, but many retirees are moving with substantial equity from a previous home. If you can downsize and dramatically reduce or eliminate your mortgage, a $2,500 monthly income looks completely different. That's when towns like Athens become very interesting. Number 4, McMinnville. At number 4 is McMinnville, and this one is easy to overlook. The typical home value is around $259,000. Perhaps even more interesting for someone who doesn't want to buy immediately, Zillow's June rental data puts average rent around $1,000. Of course, individual properties vary, but that's a figure worth noticing when your entire monthly retirement budget is $2,500. McMinnville gives you a slower pace, access to nature, and basic everyday services without paying the housing premium of Tennessee's biggest cities. This isn't the place for someone looking for luxury shopping or nonstop entertainment, but if you're looking for a manageable home, quieter surroundings, and enough money left over to actually live your retirement, McMinnville makes a compelling case. Number 3, Greeneville. At number 3 is Greeneville in Northeast Tennessee. The typical home value is about $252,000, and current Zillow rental data puts average rent at roughly $1,100. You get Appalachian scenery, a historic small-town setting, and access to the wider Northeast Tennessee region without paying Johnson City prices. But Greeneville also demonstrates why we don't rank towns on price alone. Smaller communities can mean fewer specialized services. So if you already know you'll need regular specialist care, don't just search Zillow before you move. Map your doctors, map the hospitals. Look at the drive you would actually make on a rainy Tuesday morning for an appointment. A retirement destination needs to work for the older version of you too. That's part of retiring smart. Number 2 is Lawrenceburg in southern Middle Tennessee, near the Alabama state line. The typical home value is now about $249,000. That's one of the lowest figures on today's list, and Lawrenceburg illustrates something important. The best retirement bargains aren't always the places appearing on every national best places to retire ranking. Sometimes they're ordinary towns where ordinary housing hasn't yet been bid up by thousands of incoming retirees. Lawrenceburg offers small-town Tennessee without the pricing pressure you see closer to Nashville. But it doesn't take our number 1 spot. Why? Because affordability alone isn't enough. Our winter costs slightly more, but offers a combination of healthcare and regional infrastructure that I think becomes increasingly valuable the longer you remain in retirement. Number 1, Kingsport. Our number 1 choice is Kingsport. And here's the interesting part. Kingsport isn't the cheapest town in this countdown. The typical home value is around $259,000, about $10,000 more than Lawrenceburg. So why does it win? Because Kingsport gives you more around that housing price. It's part of Northeast Tennessee's Tri-Cities region with Appalachian scenery, shopping, parks, and regional services. More importantly, for an older retiree, Kingsport has substantial healthcare infrastructure right in the city. Holston Valley Medical Center offers emergency care, plus a wide range of specialty and subspecialty services. And if your children or grandchildren live elsewhere, the Tri-Cities region also has commercial airport access. That's why Kingsport gets our number 1 spot. Not because it's the cheapest, but because it may allow you to keep housing relatively affordable without sacrificing as much of the infrastructure you'll want later in retirement. Cheap is good. Cheap and practical is better. Can you really retire in Tennessee on $2,500 a month? So let's answer the question. Can you really retire in Tennessee on $2,500 a month? Yes, for some retirees. But housing is the key. $2,500 a month is $30,000 a year. If you're making a large new mortgage payment, financing expensive vehicles, and trying to maintain the same spending pattern you had during your peak earning years, that budget will feel tight almost anywhere. But if you've downsized, brought substantial equity with you, paid off your home, or found modest housing, Tennessee can make $30,000 much more workable. And there's one more benefit older homeowners should know about. Tennessee has property tax relief for qualifying low-income elderly homeowners. There's also a separate property tax freeze program that can freeze property taxes for eligible homeowners age 65 and older, but only in counties and municipalities that participate, and income requirements apply. So don't assume it's available everywhere. Always check the actual rules where you're considering moving. And that's really the bigger lesson from this list. Don't choose your retirement town based on home price alone. Look at housing, healthcare, taxes, insurance, transportation, access to family, and whether the place still works for you 10 or 15 years from now. Because saving $500 a month isn't a bargain if you end up living somewhere that makes your life harder. Now I want to hear from you. Of these 10 Tennessee towns, which one surprised you the most? And if you already live in Tennessee, tell us what we got right or what future retirees should know before they move. That kind of first-hand experience can help everyone watching. And if Tennessee is seriously on your retirement shortlist, don't make your decision yet. In our next video, we're putting Tennessee head-to-head with North Carolina to find out which state really gives retirees the better life for their money in 2026. Subscribe to Retire Smart so you don't miss it. Because a smart retirement isn't just about how much money you've saved. It's about choosing the place where your money and your time can take you further.